Okay, so just for when I have to do a new planter, if I do stone ones or whatever, the first thing you do, obviously, is make your meshes. I've got these here. We're going to open up the small one, because that's the one I'm working on right now. And then also open up one of the originals. So, they're up here in the player farming system. Let's go to the small one. And then what you'll do is, even though it's a static mesh, it has the socket manager here. So we're going to copy all of these sockets onto our small one. We'll kill the medium one because I've already done it on here. So we'll do that. I'm going to move this to my other monitor to make it easier. So I'm just copying the information over. I copy the name so it's exact, and then down here there's these settings, and you can right click to copy them, and then I right clicked to paste it, and there's nothing in any of those other tabs. So we'll go to the next one. This one's easy because it's just one plant. We'll copy these over. Bear with me. This is very important to make sure the whole system works. And we'll go into here and copy the location of this one. So you'll have one socket on each side of the each side of the mesh, and then you'll have a socket for where the plant goes. So there'll always be 4 of these, and then however many plants fit in the box, you'll have that many sockets for that. We'll save this. This one needs to be saved that I was copying from, but I didn't make any changes. It's just because when you go in to copy the name and then click away or whatever, it dings it as needing to be saved. So we'll save that and kill it. So now we've got our mesh. And then I go into the item list and I add a new row here. I've already done it, changed the name, and I just copied the settings from the tutorial for each of them, so there's nothing really here, and I haven't added any resources or anything to it. Just that. Make sure it's on building or it won't work. And then the next part is you want to take this exact same name, and we'll go to the plant list. Doesn't have the planters, but the build part list does. So we'll duplicate the medium one I was working on and switch it to small. Small planter. This has to be set to farming. Now we'll need a blueprint. And I've got one here that I've done. And so for this blueprint, same thing. I came up here to planters and I copied this blueprint and moved it down to my own folder. Here's this one. If I double click it, it takes us to the open window. And then the only thing I change right now is the mesh. So there's that. Compile and save it. We'll come back. We'll have to come back. So let's change this to our one that we just made. There's the small one. And then the item list, we got to change this. So to our small one that we just made in the item list. Cool. Save that. And now we got to go to the planters list. I'm going to copy the small planter. But first we'll take this name. The names have to match across all of these lists. So just make sure you do that. Now it's small. Let's change our blueprint. There we are. Planter. Small planter, great. I'm not going to change any of this right now because I'm still setting up my resources and all that stuff, but I'll come in here and do all that when that's set up. So there's that. Now that that's all done, if you think you're finished, you're not, because if you come in, I forgot to set one. So let's drag this over, Alt and click to duplicate it by moving it, and we'll set this to our new item, the small one. And so if you grab it, it'll look like the new planter we made, but as soon as I click it down, it looks like the default. And that's because of this last step that's important. We'll go to our blueprint in the class defaults, over here in row name, planters small. That's from the master farming list, which has all of these lists in it. If we check it out, I didn't have to add anything to that, because as soon as I add to any of these lists, boom, it pops up right there. But we'll kill that. So you just have to make sure you switch that to your new one, this drop down. The socket types is good because it's already set up, and those are the sockets we copied on the static mesh. And just for bringing it in, we don't have to change anything. Now if I go in here and I pick it up and place it, it looks like the one we actually did. And I'll grab something to plant, and there it is. It works. And it's growing. Growing, growing, growing. It's a carrot. Its growth's 100. Wait for it to go up. Then I'll pick it just to make sure everything worked correctly. There it is, 100. Pick it. Done. I could plant another one if I wanted. But there's already one still in there. It's just thinking about it. There it is. Boop. It'll grow again. And yeah, so there we go. If we need to add new ones, that's a quick tutorial on how to do that. Just plant some more things just to make sure that all of them work. Yep, they all work. Cool.